Hey there, friends. Happy Thursday to you. Yesterday was Wednesday, and that is Woden's Day, or also Odin's Day. And this is Thursday. Thor was the son of Odin, one of Odin's sons, the other being the very mysterious Loki, who was kind of evil when we really get down to it. So we had Thor, who was full of light and energy and love, and Loki, who had his dark side. But happy Thursday to you guys. I've got a couple of new journals to go into the shop today. I want to thank you all so much for purchasing from my Etsy store, especially this week as I prepare to be away from my creative space for a while, away from the store. Remember, the store is closing April the 10th and will reopen on May the 1st. And I should have lots and lots of fun ephemera for us after my trip. I love this fabric. It is LilyPad, and the cool thing about it is when my art angel sent it, I didn't know what it was. I kept looking at it and thinking, well, you know, are they UFOs? Are they flying saucers? What are they? But then I realized that a little slice was out of each one, and it's a LilyPad. So, and I love the colors. I love the greens and blues, and I followed up with greens and blues on the spine here. So let's take a look inside, and we have a sweet little kitty cat to start us out. You can go ahead and just take ownership of the book by just putting your name right here. I also sent along another little book personalization tag for you in case you wanted to share that with someone else. We start off, of course, with your story. And it's spring. It's the time of rebirth, renewal, re-energy. So why not write yourself a new story about your life? I know that a lot of times, you know, our lives are hard. Can you believe that when we were little, we wanted nothing but to be grown up? And now it's like when we're grown up, it's like, oh my Lord, I'd really like to be little again, you know, just to have someone feed you and shelter you and care for you and tuck you in bed at night and things like that. This little book does have a bit of a departure. This is this is an article from the Farmer's Almanac about fishing, and I found it intriguing simply because of the beautiful illustrations. The illustrations are like woodcuts. It has some really very cool words of wisdom throughout this. If you know someone who fishes, or if you fish yourself, and girls fish, right? You might want to share these articles with them. Read them, y'all. They're very inspiring articles about fishing and being outside and being part of nature, which is so important that we earth ourselves, that we immerse ourselves in the energy of the earth. There's a big trend to earth, right? You take your shoes off, and no matter what the weather, you go outside and you feel the earth on the bare soles of your feet, and it keeps you grounded, quite literally and metaphorically. I love the illustrations in the Farmer's Almanac. This is for September of 2016. It says, and now the autumn season waits in mellowing forms of fruitage. There's always a really interesting, very short story right here. It's called The Farmer's Calendar. And the stories are quite interesting, quite inspirational. This is a recap of the August 21st solar eclipse, which was a huge astronomical event. We've got some more warblers for you. I think this is a Cooper's hawk. I have a friend who is a falconer, and that's another, you know, we talked about fishing. That's another really inspirational thing, to be able to train those birds. It's also very medieval. I don't know if you've ever read the story of King Arthur as a boy, the once and future king, but in that story, Arthur trains hawks, and it's, you know, he talks about putting the hood on the hawks and things like that. Very interesting. A pink flamingo to just cheer you up. A pocket full of goodies right here. Bluebird of happiness, because we just love our bluebirds of happiness. and more papers for you to play with. These are like little mini pockets. This is a whole piece of paper. This is a 6x6, so you can take it out, take the washi tape off of it, and do what you want to with it. Bookmarks right here, so you can immediately have something fun to play with. This is a deer on a coaster. I just thought it was so pretty. I love the colors, and I love the colors as they come in contact with these beautiful blues and yellows that we have going on here. The paper that I got was super Moroccan themed. Moroccan. So don't forget that again. This is a Tim Holtz grunge board key and a little wooden heart for you to play with. The second signature in these books are about composition and textures, and giving you the tools to create composition and texture all in one little place, so you don't have to go and visit your stash or anything like that. You have a lot of textural elements all in one spot. We got a little bit of bling for you. Now, whether you use that by itself or whether you put it on on a canvas or on a card and cover it with some gesso, that's just completely up to you how you use it. Handmade deli paper, a napkin for you to play with. Love these papers, y'all. I tell you, that paper was just that was a find. And this, of course, is some tissue paper, so you can use that for decoupage, whatever you want to use that for. A bit of metal tape for you. You know how much I love my metal tape, especially when I'm using it with a styrofoam piece. I do plan to do a tutorial about this signature in particular and the ways to use the different things in it. We've got some corrugated cardboard, some chipboard, some gloss paper. We've got metal elements right here for you to play with, as well as some super cool bubble wrap that's good for all kinds of things. Art Angel sent me some pictures of old typewriters. Love, love, love old typewriters. This is a great Peter Newell illustration from the Vicar of Wakefield. A little Charles Dickens for us. Alice in Wonderland, when Alice is growing and sticks her hand out the window. And there's a turtle right there. I didn't even notice him. Oh, that's cool. I love, love, love to read the annotated Alice because it gives you so much insight into the people who have studied Lewis Carroll and studied Alice in Wonderland. It's just super cool. This is Japanese text that has an English translation. And we've got some French text, quite beautiful. Some Swedish text and a German dictionary. Thank you, Gail, for sending along so much vintage text for us to look at. This is an ephemera piece from the Nielsen collection, 1946. Love the stamp. I think it's so cool. You know, you think about something like that and the age on it, and it is like just really, to me, it's 72 years old. It's amazing that it is in such great shape. Especially the stamp. Makes you wonder how they made stamps back then, you know, that they don't fade. 2 vintage cards for you, son, on your birthday. Merry Christmas, grandson. The grandson card is signed Much Love from Grandma. And the Happy Birthday Son card is signed With Love, Mama, 1968. Let's see, in 1968, I was 10 years old. Hard to believe. The Japanese story is called The Gratitude of the Crane, and the illustrations are phenomenal. More Alice, and this is what I'm talking about, y'all. This red part is the annotated Alice. And, of course, the rest of Charles Dickens. This is A Tale of Two Cities. Sunshine and Choose Happiness. I was listening to my inspiration radio this morning while I was out running errands, and the DJ made a really cool analogy. The train of bad thoughts, bad vibes, depression, anguish, anxiety can come pulling up to your personal station every single morning. But it's your decision whether or not to get on that train. Now think about that. I thought about that and I thought that is so true, because any day can just, your train of everything going wrong can roll into your station, and then you say, yeah, I'm going to wait on the next train. That train might be the train of happiness, and I think I'd rather get on that one and stay away from the train of despair or hopelessness. I don't know if you guys listen to Abraham, Esther Hicks and Abraham, but there's an emotional scale that we all kind of adhere to, and seeing that emotional scale written on a piece of paper, thank you, Art Angel, is remarkable, just to see it written down, and to think that a lot of times we're operating in, the despair or hopelessness or anxiety phase, when all we got to do is just kind of change our thoughts and move up the emotional scale. It's very handy. It's a good thing to know. This is another little handy thing. This is a pocket full of fun for you to just pull out and make some ATCs. It's got fabric scraps, and it's got paper scraps, and it's got a couple ATCs in here for you to build a pawn. This is a fun little insert, y'all. It is crafting a card. Now, Donna made, not Donna, I'm sorry. Hey, Donna. Diane made a really good point. She said that when Tammy runs out of things, she gets very inventive, and that's exactly what happens. There's an adage, during the Depression, they would say, use it up, wear it out, make it do or do without. And I am in that make it do stage, because it's like I told you guys, I'm kind of out of a lot of my magazine ephemera. I don't have anything left. I do have some books left, but I'm out of a lot of stuff, and it's like, and you guys know that I'm very into DIY. Do it yourself and do it with what you have. Use what you have. So this little signature gives you a personal table tent, and again, I'll be doing a tutorial about this. A personal table tent to inspire you. You can write an inspiring word on it. You can choose an inspiring word from what you find in this little book. You can draw on it. You can just set it on your table in the morning, just as it is. A little something for you to color. A card to create. Honestly, this book is chock full of cards. Here's a card, here's a card. Here's a card, here's a card, here's a card, here's a card. A little bit of inspiration for you, because it's just fun to see the way that people use color and form and shape. This is a packet full of scrap papers. It's got some wooden pieces, some buttons, all kinds of things right down in here for you to create your personal table tent and your personal cards with. Some ABCs for you. Don't you love the Moroccan papers, y'all? It just makes me happy. I really can't explain it. It's got something to do with that magenta elephant I made in 2nd grade. Got a dress form for you. Thank you, Donna. I really did like a fabric page for you guys. I like this. This is very kind of strange, from the 2008 fashion magazine that we've been plucking from, about how design comes to be and what design looks like, what it looked like in 2008, what it looked like in the 1700s, what people wore, how they held themselves, what their hair looked like. Y'all, I found some mimeograph paper. So I wanted us to all have some as much as possible. These are sewing instructions, and they've been printed on mimeograph paper. Some graph paper so you can design your own thing. And this is some pattern instructions and some pattern paper. This is kind of like tissue paper. It's really good for decoupage and stuff like that. And our last little pocket in the back. It's just a pocket full of fun. We've got an umbrella guy. We've got some papers for you to play with. Again, this little book will be in the shop this afternoon. She's a LilyPad. I really do love her. This is a book kind of, I mean, when you look at these, y'all, it's kind of the same color scheme, which I really did like. I like the fact that these are flowers on black. It is a little subtle, a little subdued, not quite so in your face. I also totally love the brad. Let me see if I can get a close-up on that brad for you. It's a guy, and he is all in his bow tie. I thought the brad was just very cool. And again, you know, kind of elegant and understated. The bead strand is finished off with one of my favorite things I've ever found, and I don't even know where it came from. But I really do love this bead. And we've got greens and blues going on here. Let's take a look inside and see what we see. We've got your story right here. You know, it's the season of renewal, regeneration, rebirth, regrowth, you know, you just have to go outside to see the absolute inspiration in nature and recognize that, you know, we can all start over. We can all start from maybe places in ourselves that just didn't feel very alive. We can write a different story for ourselves and be a different person, and it's all kind of up to you, y'all. It's all up to you, the kind of person that you want to be. Heart warm against the stormy white, the rose of joy burns warmer yet. Oh my goodness, that is just absolutely beautiful. And this is a very interesting story about a star-nosed mole. And you guys will have to read about that. We have moles and voles in our yard. Oh my goodness, they drive the dogs insane. But, you know, it does keep them occupied, I have to say. They have dug up my entire backyard looking for moles. We've got some bird elements for you. A gray partridge and bird watching essentials, which is a notebook and a pencil and, of course, some binoculars. A sweet little bird element right here for you. This was an article about gardens that I just thought was very, very pretty. How's your garden growing? We haven't been able to plant a thing yet this year, but the plants down at the berry patch are blooming, and they look beautiful. It's very inspiring to go there and see nothing, and then see all those little white blooms, and know that they're going to turn into strawberries, and know that families are going to come and pick their own strawberries and just enjoy. That is one of the funnest parts of my job, is watching families drive up to the farm and get out. The children are so excited. You know, I love to watch them sit in the berry patch and, you know, pick their strawberries. A lot of our families are super young. They have babies, and they'll just plop the baby down in the field, and the baby will just eat its little fill of strawberries. It's very, very sweet. This is our textural element, you guys. We've got some wood for you to play with. We've got, this is an ATC pack, you know, one of those things you can just take out and play with. A little Prima flowers, some bling for you. And we've got homemade deli paper, some other, that's a very pretty paper too. I thought that was super cool. Napkins for you to play with, and some tissue paper for you to play with. Styrofoam. Styrofoam you can carve, you can cut out. You would just be kind of really surprised to find that it is such a creative thing to play with. A chipboard element for you. Chipboard is great to build things up, and then you can always layer, you can put your metal tape on top of the chipboard and rub it with an eraser and create all kinds of texture and dimension. Got some Tim Holtz scrunch board for you, some cardboard. These are your metal elements, and of course some bubble wrap right here. This was another one of the typewriter images. This is the Hammond. Price including one extra type wheel was $100. I wonder what year that was. That would be a curious thing to kind of explore, wouldn't it? Got Emily Dickinson for you, some Peter Newell. This is from the Vicar of Wakefield. And remember that Peter Newell was the illustrator for the Vicar of Wakefield as well as Alice in Wonderland. Some lovely Shakespeare. And let's see. I think this might be... this might be Hardy Boys. I'm not quite sure. 10 Little Indians by the beautiful and wonderful Agatha Christie, starring Inspector Poirot. Love Poirot. We've got a bit of vintage going on here, so I put in a 1960s Adele DIY. This is Kitchen Centers for Work. Now, I thought this was super curious. Major labor savers available with or without electricity. Okay, just let that sink in. So in 1960, sometimes you did not have electricity in your house. A gas, gasoline, or electric range may supplant the coal or wood range. The refrigerator may be run by gas, gasoline, kerosene, distillate oil, or electricity, as if electricity was like an afterthought. So I was very surprised by this article from 1960 about kitchen centers for work. Home Sweet Home in 1792. Candle boxes and wall sconces provided light. Cooks used reflector ovens, bake pans, and biscuit cutters. Light and unbreakable tinware was gaining in popularity. The average family burned 20 cords of wood annually. Wow, that's a lot of wood, y'all. Wow, that's cool, isn't it? The Legend of the Crane in Japanese and English. The illustrations are just gorgeous. I think we have a little bit of French text. We have some Swedish text. German dictionary. Thank you, Gail. I thought these cards were adorable. This is some Nielsen ephemera from 1945. Hope you're all set for a swell birthday with everything pointing. Get it? This is a little pointer dog. To a doggone happy year. Me and Oscar. Now, me we know is Kathy, and Oscar is her son. And we've got another little doggy having a bite of birthday cake. Happy birthday. Hope it's good to the last bite. Best wishes, Olive. I just thought that was really, really sweet. I love a good doggy element because I love my doggies. Happiness in home life was dealing with the eyes, especially children's eyes. It was very interesting. When my little fellow was born, he was born with amblyopia and strabismus. That is cross-eyed, but he already had loss of vision in his left eye. So he does not see out of his left eye, but I tell you, it does not stop him. He's a 31-year-old dynamo. It's odd how some people, something happens to them or they're born some way and they use it as a, as a crutch or as a, oh, woe is me. But, he's always been a trooper. Both of my boys are troopers and, they've had health issues themselves, but it's refreshing that they're troopers, man. They just hang in there. It's the little things in life that matter the most. And here we have our make a card element, you guys. Your personal table tent, something to color, a card, a bit of inspiration, more cards to play with, a bit of playing cards. I love playing cards. Though I don't play cards, I like to look at them. This is an envelope of things for you to play with and make your cards with. Umbrella guy. We love our umbrella guy. And this is one of Donna's dress forms, which she does such a stellar job on. A fabric element, more design from the 2008 Fashion Design magazine. Definitely 1700s era guy here. And I think that, it's Andrew Jackson, y'all. Very cool. Some of our mimeograph paper. Some graph paper, so you can design your own snazzy outfit if you want. And pattern paper, pattern instructions and pattern paper right here. Love the mimeograph stuff, y'all. I was so tickled. I squealed when I saw it. I was like, oh yeah, mimeograph paper. And our last little pocket right here has a couple bookmarks for you. I will have these in the store a little bit later on this afternoon. Again, you guys, I really appreciate the support right now as I am trying to get things all wrapped up to be away for a little while. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate you. Love you bunches. Take care. Bye.